This might just be the pettiest thing I have ever done. Story time. So my little brother has a girlfriend who we'll call Amy. And this girl might just be one of the most self-centered and obnoxious people I have ever met. So not too long ago, they came to stay at mine for the weekend. And when they left, Amy left so much of her stuff at my house. Probably because she didn't know where anything was, because she left her shit everywhere. Anyway. She left this North Face jacket and then like all of her toiletries. So about a week later, her and my brother ended up moving into their first apartment together, which is all fun and games, right? Wrong. After he paid for the moving truck, the utilities, half of the rent for the month, the girlfriend cheats on my brother with her ex. She then proceeds to kick my brother out of the apartment. So not only now was he broke from paying for everything, but he was also heartbroken and homeless. So at some point, she must have realised that she'd left half of her stuff at my house, because she started calling, texting, blowing up my brother's emails to see if I could send back half of her stuff. Now, I wasn't going to send them back because of how much she had disrespected my flat when she was here. But my brother was like, please, can you just do it? So she gets off my back and leaves me alone. So being the loving and supporting sister I am, I bundled up all of her stuff and put it in a bag together. I was giving that North Face jacket no care or attention at all. I then just wrote a really nice note and I put it in just saying, sorry that it took so long to send you your bits, hope they get there safe and hope she has a really nice future with her new boyfriend. And the note was written in permanent marker. And the paper just so happened to be resting on her North Face jacket. And because it was written in permanent marker, the marker bled through to the North Face. Oh no! And in another turn of unfortunate events, the shampoo cap just happened to be not screwed on properly. And it's just such a mystery of how that could have happened. And then apparently there was a razor in there, which I obviously had no clue was in there. I just picked all of her stuff off my bathroom floor and put it in the bag. That didn't have a cover on it, so in transport, the blades had made little micro tears in her jacket. So she emailed all of this to my brother. And after that, we never heard from her again.
Being delusional will be the best fucking thing that you ever did for yourself. I made an entire podcast episode on this with my podcast Midday Matcha called Fake It Till You Make It. But I'm going to tell you a little bit here of how I got to where I am. One day, a couple years ago, I saw this girl, she made a TikTok and she was like, I just knew I was going to be a backup dancer for J-Lo. And she was like, I didn't have much training at the time, but she was like, I just knew that's what I wanted to do and I was going to do whatever it took for that to happen. Like I acted as if it already happened. I acted as if it was already mine. And like people around me would be like, you're crazy for thinking that. And she was like, I didn't really give a fuck. I knew it was going to be mine. That TikTok changed my mindset completely. And I was like, you know what? I just have to be so fucking delusional. At the time, I sat there with maybe 4,000 followers on TikTok. And I was like, I'm going to have millions of followers. Even before that TikTok, I was always a little bit delusional. I was like, no, I'm going to make all my goals and dreams, whatever the fuck I want, it's gonna happen for me. I'm gonna make it come true. And I told that to absolutely everybody in my life. Here's the thing, when you're saying that to people in your life, like I'm gonna have millions of followers, I'm gonna employ my sister, I'm gonna do all these things, TikTok's gonna be my full-time job, I have 4,000 followers. People are looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what the absolute fuck is she talking about? Biggest thing for me was surrounding myself with people who actually believed in me too. Obviously, I had the people that are like, okay, like you're really stretching it, you're really dreaming. It's like, no, if you're not gonna sit there and be fucking delusional with me, I don't want you in my life. If someone's sitting there and telling you like, oh, you're crazy, like that's never gonna happen, guess what? That's what you're gonna believe. If you have people in your life that are like, fuck yeah, you're gonna have tens of millions, but you're gonna do amazing things, that's what you're going to believe. Like, yes, being delusional will really fucking help you, but the people surrounding you truly matters. Like if I didn't have everyone around me being like, no, fuck yeah, Livy, you're gonna do that. Even when times it didn't look like I was gonna fucking do that, they were like, whatever you put your mind to, you'll accomplish, and I believe in that. So I had to surround myself with people that were going to believe in my delusions and they were going to like support me no matter what. Another big part about being delusional is manifesting. Manifesting is so fucking important. Writing down exactly what you want. Like I had on a little billboard in my room, like I'm gonna have millions of followers on TikTok. I'm gonna have 1 million followers on TikTok, whatever. I had that written down in my room 2 years ago. What the fuck? Even more importantly than all of that, I knew why I wanted a million. I didn't want a million just for like the fucking looks of it on the screen. I wanted a million so I could build a community and I could help women the way that I've always wanted to do that. That's why I wanted a million. Not because it looks fucking good on the screen. And for like a little bit of superficial vain reasons too, like I just wanted a million. From that day until I hit the million, There was nothing you could tell me that would stop me from getting what I wanted. I truly showed up every single day. Even when I had 60,000 followers on TikTok, I showed up to my videos, recording them as if I had 1 million. That was the mindset I was in. I was showing up as the highest version of myself. I also never limited myself. I was like, yeah, I want 1 million, but I also want tens of millions. It's not just 1 million. I really just believed in myself so wholeheartedly that everybody around me either had the choice to believe in me too or get the fuck out of my life. And I was fine with either one. It's not like I just sat around and was like, okay, the million's coming to me. It is what it is. No, babe, it was a lot of hard work and a lot of fucking sacrifices. I fully cut people off who did not believe in me. If you're not gonna align with me and my future and what I see for myself, then you don't have room in my life, and that's that. I was also posting 3 to 5 times a day, never missing a day of posting for years. And I was getting like maybe 500 views sometimes, and it's fucking cringy and it's fucking annoying. And it's like, if I sat there and I cared what every single person said about me, I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. You literally just can't give a fuck what people are gonna say, because guess what? People are always gonna have something to say, and it might have been cringy when I first did it, but now you're sending me in the group chat and you're like amazed by all the things that I'm fucking doing. But also, you really gotta put the work in. It's not just gonna come to you. You have to put the work in. I use the million as my example because I just like look back and I remember when I had the 4,000 and I was like, I'm gonna have 1 million. People are like, you're fucking crazy, and it's like, suck my dick. There's so many other things that I've manifested to just by like speaking it into existence. Sissy working for me is another big one. I've always wanted Sissy to work for me, and like I know my clear goals and plans of what I want her to do for my business in the future. Like I'm aware of those. So it's like speaking whatever you want into existence, and you might sound fucking crazy, and I hope you do. I hope your dreams scare people. My dreams scare people. My dreams scare me some of the fucking time. I'm like, God damn, Libby, that's a big goal and dream. Guess what? I don't give a fuck. It's still gonna happen. I'm still gonna make that shit happen. Once you switch your mindset to whatever I want, I'm gonna make happen, and like I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna show up as the highest version of myself, I'm gonna speak these things into existence, and I'm going to work my ass off until it's a reality, your life will change forever. Even if you're the only one believing in yourself, that's all that fucking matters. All you need to do is believe in yourself, and it'll happen. Being delusional as fuck got me to my goals and dreams. Also, like an insane worth ethic and like hard work, dedication, and passion also got me to it too. It wasn't just me being, I'm gonna have 1 million. It's like, no, I'm gonna work my ass off and I'm gonna get that 1 million. And that's that. Whatever goals and dreams that you have in your mind that you wanna accomplish, no, they're not too big. And it's just the beginning. And once you accomplish those goals, you're gonna have 1 million more. But you have to believe in yourself first, and you have to work your fucking ass off for those to come true. But it's all worth it. These are the story times of reasons I should have broke up with my ex-boyfriend but didn't. Do you guys remember when that trend was big on TikTok where it was like, check his bathroom to see if he has girl products, and that's how you know if he has a girlfriend? So obviously I did that the first time I went to his house, and I found like the Too Faced hungover setting spray. This is not an ad. Fuck you, Too Faced. Kidding, you didn't do anything wrong. I was just in a horrible relationship. I found that and I was like, what the fuck is this? And he was like, I used to have a gay roommate. He had all of those things. And I was like, what? But you guys have to remember, I was in my dumb bitch era, so I just kind of let that one slide. But if I was to do that over today, I would have just thrown the bottle at his head and walked out. Next one will be a trigger for any time I'm in a relationship moving forward. When he's private, so he doesn't post you on his Instagram. I just have a private life. I have a private life. Then delete fucking Instagram. Then delete fucking Instagram. I'm like, you have 400 followers. It's an intimate gathering over at your account. You can let them know that you have a girlfriend. But honestly, you should never beg someone to post you on their Instagram. Like, he should have posted me the minute I said yes to being his girlfriend, because that will always be the biggest achievement of his life. The next one happened on my birthday. So he took me to Nobu for my birthday, and I made him take 1 million photos of me on his phone, obviously. And when we were waiting for the subway, I went to look at the photos that he took of me, and on his camera roll, another bitch popped up of like photos of him with her. You guys, I lost my fucking mind. I think I just looked at him and I was like, this makes you 20 times more unattractive than you already were. And then I was like, honestly, it's taking everything in me not to like shove you in front of the subway right now because you're fucking disgusting. He was trying to convince me it was one of his coworkers that I knew, and I was like, that's even fucking weirder. But then I locked him out of my apartment with all of his stuff in my apartment, and he threatened to literally burn down my apartment building. And I told him to fucking do it. And then I left him. But 3 weeks later, I did end up getting back together with him, probably simply because I was fucking horny and dumb and delusional. Towards the end of our relationship, I was honestly disgusted with him, and he was like so unattractive that I didn't want to fuck him anymore. Hey, I talk about how I faked having a UTI here. I don't know why I didn't record. And he was like, show me the medication for it. First of all, red fucking flag. If a man has to ask you to see your medication, he knows you don't want to fuck him. Anyway, I showed him some like fake antibiotics that I had and I was like, look. But like, that was an all-time low. My friends were like, if you have to fake getting out of sex with somebody, you're probably done with the relationship. Go to part 2. So my ex and I had to do long distance for the summer. And within the first 2 weeks of us being long distance, I was like, wait, he's pretty fucking boring. And I truly didn't know how I was going to do long distance with him because I was like, during the phone calls, I was like, oh my fucking God. Oh, also when his bitch ass did post me on Instagram, I did not want to repost that. I did not want to repost that whatsoever. And you're probably thinking, oh, like you still wanted to keep your hoes interested in you. Is that it? Yup, that was it. That was 100% it. But that's how I knew. I was like, okay, Libby, you gotta end this soon. I also feel like I threatened to fuck his best friend an absurd amount of times. I'm like, nobody in a healthy relationship is saying that they're gonna fuck his best friends as many times as I did. So I feel like the biggest one was like, I always had a weird suspicion deep down that he was seeing, like I was like, this man feels like he just has like a whole other life. I just honestly thought like I was being a little bit crazy because this was like my first relationship in 6 years. I'm like, bitch, relax. Like he doesn't, he could never pull that. The man had a whole separate girlfriend. Like, no, like it was my intuition warning me and I was like, fuck it. Also, when I had to call my sister and let her know him and I were back together, I called her a miserable fucking bitch. And my sister was like, really? Like, you're really with him again? I feel like if you have to defend a relationship that hard, you probably shouldn't be in the relationship, like, in the first place. So those are just some moments that, like, I was like, oh, I should probably leave this motherfucker. Also, my last one time he texted my roommate saying, hey, baby. And he was like, it was an accident. Choke and die. Like, choke. And my roommate, like, hated him. So she was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, I don't know.
Am I wrong for telling my terminally ill sister that she can't have my mum's engagement ring? So my mum passed away when I was 7. And she gave her brother / my uncle her engagement ring. The ring was originally my grandma's and it had been passed down throughout all of the women in my family. And eventually I would be able to give it to my daughter or son if they ever wanted to get married too. So my dad remarried 2 years later and my stepmom had 2 daughters. We'll call them Evelyn and Amy. And I'm not that close to them, but I also don't have anything against them either. So last month, unfortunately, Amy was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So her boyfriend recently proposed to her and he said that she'd mentioned my mum's engagement ring because she just knew how pretty it was. And her boyfriend said that she had always wanted my mum's engagement ring because she thought it was just unreal. Her boyfriend told my dad's wife, and then my dad's wife told my dad. All 3 of them kept telling me how much she wanted the ring and that I would obviously eventually get it back when unfortunately she's not with us anymore. And that it would be nice for me to fulfill her wishes given the circumstances. I said that I really didn't want to give her the ring, however I would give them a photo of it so they could get it replicated if they wanted. And they did not like that one bit. And then they told me that I was denying her a family ring. I said, well, it's not her family ring, it's my family ring. Amy had nothing to do with my mum. So I asked my dad how Amy even knew about the ring in the first place. And he said that he'd shown Amy some pictures of my mum's ring over the past couple of years. And that he also showed her the jeweller pictures from when he was getting the ring designed. He said he thought it would have been a nice bonding moment for them when they were younger with him. My stepmom pleaded with me. Amy even wrote me a letter saying how much she'd love to wear it and how much of an honour it would be to get married wearing my mum's ring. I'm now getting shit from my dad, my stepmom and my stepsister's fiance. But what do you think?
This is how I found out that my first boyfriend was cheating on me. One day, he decided that he was going to take my phone because he thought that I was cheating on him. So he stole my phone and hid it somewhere in my apartment. And then he left. And I knew that my phone was in my apartment. I just couldn't find it. I literally flipped my apartment inside out looking for it. After my apartment was literally flipped inside out, I decided to go see if his car was still out back of my apartment complex, which it was. He was a pastor's kid, so he always had spare extra burner phones. So I was like, let me look in his car and see if there's an old phone that I can log into my Snapchat on and communicate with someone. And there was, but you know what else was on that phone? There was Tinder, there were naked women in his camera roll, there were girls in his DMs, he had a whole nother Snapchat account, like there was so much going on. I literally spent the entire night bawling my eyes out. Eventually I logged into my Snapchat and I messaged him. I was like, where is my phone? And he was like, how are you messaging me if you don't know where your phone is? So I told him, I found an old phone in your car last night and I logged into that to use my Snapchat. And he was like, can you come pick me up right now? And so I drove across town to pick him up. When we got back to my apartment complex, I told him to pack all of his stuff and to leave, and that I never wanted to see him again because he was cheating on me and I caught him. He did not take it very well. He ended up tackling me to the floor, stole my phone, stole my car keys, and then chased me down the hall with a knife.